Russian portion of the space station, headed back towards the U.S. segment, along with the international partner segments. This is the Unity and headed into the Destiny laboratory. Nicole Stott exercising on the treadmill. This is the node 2, or the Harmony node. And now the crew member is headed towards the Japanese portion of the International Space Station. There's the Canadian flag going into the Columbus portion. Again, this is video that was recorded earlier today on board the International Space Station. Again, you're looking at the International Space Station, and you're looking at a view inside Node 2 as the crew member that is taking the video is giving us a tour of the space station. We saw the Columbus Laboratory, the European Space Agency portion of the Columbus Laboratory. We took a tour of the Japanese Kobo. We've gone all the way through to the Russian side of the space station.
As usual.
There is Commander Frank DeWinna.
Frank getting ready to leave shortly.
Look what I found for Jeff.
All right, exercise. I can get in good shape.
This is Bob Thirst, the Canadian Space Agency astronaut.
Hey everyone, I'm setting up for an experiment for tomorrow. I'm going to do a cardiovascular experiment, and I'm going to wear some Acta watches on my wrist. Here's one right here. And I'll be wearing some ECG leads on my chest to monitor my heart rhythm for 24 hours. And I'll be wearing an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator type of apparatus on my arm, measuring blood pressure at the level of 2 of my fingers. I'll be monitoring that for 24 hours. That one's a bit of an ordeal because the finger cuffs get in the way of doing other fine dexterous activities, but it's important science. We're trying to reduce the risk, or get rid of the risk, of cardiovascular disability on long-duration spaceflight. We don't think there is a risk there, but we need to prove it.
Thank you for that brief, Bob. Okay, let's leave Columbus and go into Node 2, where Nicole's just finishing up her run around the world. How far around the world did you get, Nicole?
Oh, let's see. About a third of the way.
About a third of the way.
Third of the way.
Tomorrow I'll go for halfway.
Okay. It only lets you go 30 minutes.
Let's leave Node 2 and go on into the lab. And here we see Roman again at work. Roman is always working.
Of course.
He's the hardest worker on board.
Kidding.
Into Node 1. It's true. It is true. Into PMA 1, which connects the U.S. segment with the Russian segment. A little dark in here. Small. And into the Russian segment and the FGB mode. done with the FGB and into the service module.
Very quiet.
And there's Max hard at work.
The quietest place in the world.
The quietest place in the world. Alright. Now we're going from the Russian segment back to the US segment. Out of the service module into the FGB.
No way.
Too much stuff, Roman. And there's Roman again. Roman is everywhere.
This is FGB, US segment.
Again, this is a video that was downlinked earlier today. This is video that will be available on NASA television, on NASA's YouTube site.
Into the US segment now. Node 1. To the lab module.
Getting a good view of the Expedition 21 crew as they are working on board the International Space Station and a tour of the space station. The Expedition 21 crew has been working on a number of experiments this morning, including that body and space environment experiment you saw earlier. In addition to that, completing some work on that one of the ICV experiments that was a cardiac experiment. Again, we've rejoined the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center as flight controllers are gathering some of that video that was being downlinked and monitoring the activities on board the International Space Station. One of the activities this morning is a ham radio activity that the crew is going to participate. Ham radio is one of the many activities on board the space station. To learn more about that, you can go to www.nasa.gov and enter ham radio in the search and find out the information about how you could participate in the ham radio activities. A number of schools also participate in that activities, working with ham radio operators around the world. Again, this is video that was taped earlier today and is being downlinked now to the flight control room here at the Johnson Space Center. On board the space station today, the Expedition 21 crew has been finishing up some work with the POISC mini research module. The hatches were opened today. That research module arrived at the International Space Station yesterday, docking at 9:41 a.m. Central Time. Today, the hatches were opened to that research module. The hatches were opened at 6:17 a.m. Central Time this morning, allowing the crew to enter and take some air samples, hook up air ducts, and begin to unload the cargo in that module. The crew does hope to have that module up and running by Tuesday. They plan on Monday to reroute some of the telemetry cabling from inside to the main computer and get everything hooked up and get everything running. So far, they have experienced no technical issues with the arrival or the setting up of that POISC module.